They say love is the most honest feeling in the world, but what if every "I love you," every smile, every soft touch was just part of a cruel performance? She never truly loved you. She only needed you to believe she did, and you believed. Look at yourself. The kind man who opens doors, sends sweet messages, calls her beautiful in the morning. Do you think she truly sees you? No, you are predictable. And in the secret language of female desire, predictability is a death sentence. Every woman carries a hidden monster in her blood, a deep desire she herself doesn't fully understand. This monster pushes her away from the man who loves her and towards the man who doesn't need her. She says she wants a sensitive man, but runs into the arms of the one who breaks her. It's not cruelty she's after. It's ancient biology. For thousands of years, women survived by choosing warriors, not poets, hunters, not philosophers, men who could protect them, not men who would die for love. You think love is conversation, tenderness, understanding. She swears she believes that too, but her body never lies. It reacts to the man who challenges her, who stands his ground, who never asks permission to exist. Notice how her eyes shine when she talks about the ex who treated her coldly, or how her voice changes when she mentions that arrogant boss everyone hates. That sparkle isn't pain, it's hunger. The monster she desires isn't violent, but he's dangerous. He's untamed, unpredictable, and therefore irresistible. You, on the other hand, are an open book. Every word, every gesture, every reaction, she already knows. Safe, stable, everything she says she wants. And exactly why her biology rejects you. Schopenhauer once said, "Love is nature's trick to keep the species alive." But he stopped too soon. Love is a war, and in this war, the civilized man always loses. What she wants is not born from comfort. It comes from tension, risk, controlled danger. The man she truly desires makes her doubt. Does he love me or not? Will he call? Is he with someone else? This uncertainty is more addictive than any drug. And you, with your constant love and guaranteed presence, are like a weak medicine for someone who craves fire. Napoleon took Europe, but couldn't conquer Josephine. From the battlefield, he wrote desperate letters while she slept with other men in Paris. The emperor of the world reduced to a beggar for affection. Sound familiar? Of course it does. You've begged too. Begged for crumbs while she served a feast to men who never asked for anything. The monster never begs. He's hungry, but not for her. He's hungry for power, purpose, conquest. And that hunger, the hunger she can never satisfy, is what drives her crazy. She's not a masochist. She's an unconscious evolutionary strategist. Her biology pulls her toward the man whose attention is rare and valuable. If your attention is constant, free, and always available, it's worth nothing. It's basic economics applied to human attraction. Remember that toy you desperately wanted as a child? The one you couldn't have? You dreamed of it, craved it. And when you finally got it, you left it in the corner after a few weeks. That's what you became. Visible, accessible, forgotten. The monster is the toy behind the glass, always in sight, never in reach. As Hobbes might have said, man is a wolf to man. But he was wrong. Man becomes a sheep before a woman when he forgets he was born a wolf. Do you want to know why your relationship died? Don't ask what you did wrong. Ask what you stopped doing right. You stopped being dangerous, not violent, but dangerous in spirit. You became just another piece of furniture in her life. Useful, safe, predictable. There are 3 signs of the man she secretly desires. First, a purpose greater than her. He doesn't live for her. She's a bonus, not the center. He has a mission. She can feel it, admire it, and wants to belong to such a man, not be the only reason he breathes. Second, the strength to say no. When was the last time you told her no? When was the last time you put yourself first without guilt? The man she desires says no easily, and every no becomes an unintentional aphrodisiac. Third, emotional mystery. You pour out your feelings like a teenager in love. The man she desires is calculated silence, not cold, but calm. He protects his emotional energy like gold, and it's the tension between what he could show and what he chooses not to show that keeps her addicted. She doesn't want to drown in your emotions. She wants to earn the right to touch them. Notice how she chases the man who takes hours or days to reply. Each message from him is worth 100 of yours. It's not that he's better, it's that, consciously or not, he understands. Female desire survives on tension, not on satisfaction. You removed all the tension, always there, always replying, always ready to give more. She's not thirsty, she's drowning. And she would rather die of thirst than live in your ocean. Nietzsche once said, "God is dead," but forgot to add, "With him died the last man women could respect." She told you, "You're too good." You thought it was a compliment. It was actually the funeral speech for her attraction to you. She didn't leave because you were bad. She left because you were too good, too available, ready to give yourself before she even asked. Women don't fall for kindness alone. They fall for challenge. Not for cruelty, but because ancient biology whispers, if he's easy to win, he can't be worth much. In the brutal world of primitive desire, the man who offers everything is the one who ends up with nothing. Think of a majestic, dangerous lion. You admire him from a distance. Now imagine that lion starts following you, licking your feet, begging for attention. Would you still admire him? No, you'd feel pity or discomfort, but never desire. That's what you've become, an obedient lion. Still strong, but without respect. She doesn't want to be worshipped. She wants to be conquered, not with force, but with presence, power, purpose. You gave flowers. He gave silence. You wrote poems. He left her on read. You planned the future. He lived in the moment. And she chose him, because in her deep unconscious, the man who doesn't chase is the man who could have anyone. You made her your whole world. He made her a part of his journey. And that difference lit the fire of her deepest desire. The most powerful women often give themselves to the most indifferent men. Not out of cruelty, but because their power has finally met a rival. Not in violence, but in detachment. When you said, "I can't live without you," she didn't feel love. She felt trapped. In that moment, you stopped being her partner and became her prisoner, her worshipper, her purpose. And that heavy weight crushed her attraction. She wanted a partner, not a devotee. Her tests didn't always come in words. They came in silence, delayed replies, cancelled plans, moments of coldness. And you failed them all. You ran faster, you loved louder, you gave more, and with every desperate gesture, you killed a little more of her respect. She wasn't testing you to punish you. She was measuring you. Measuring your spine, your strength, your self-respect. Every ignored text was a question. Can he keep his control? Every mood swing was a whisper. Can he stay steady? Every delay was a mystery. Does he want me, or does he choose me? And you answered wrong every single time. You made her feel powerful, but not feminine. And a woman who feels like the man in the relationship will search for another man who can make her feel like a woman again. Mystery creates emotion. Emotion is the currency of female desire. When everything is known, nothing is felt. You gave certainty. He gave curiosity. You offered peace. He offered tension. And though she will never admit it, tension is far more intoxicating than comfort. It's not about becoming a jerk. It's about becoming unavailable. Not physically, but in your center. Stop orbiting around her like a moon around a planet. Make her orbit around you. Lead. Set the pace. Don't reply instantly. Don't say yes to everything. Don't pour out every thought. Keep silence. Keep mystery. Keep tension. Because tension doesn't kill intimacy. It opens the door to it. Think of your favorite movie. Would you still love it if you knew the ending in the first 5 minutes? You ruined the ending before the story even began. You confessed before she could feel, planned a future before she could imagine one, gave commitment before she could offer curiosity. And so, you killed the spark before the fire. She doesn't miss you. She misses the man you could have been, the mystery you never were, the fire you never lit. It's possible to bring that fire back. Maybe not with her, but in you. Become the man she would never dare take for granted. Not the man who needs love, but the man who chooses to give it. With standards. A presence that feels like a gift, not an obligation. The monster isn't cruel, he's complete. He doesn't chase, he attracts. He doesn't explain, he embodies, he doesn't need, he decides. And that kind of man is never left behind. She left, but she didn't forget. Deep down, she remembers the one thing she couldn't control: your silence, your distance, your power. After the breakup, you thought she moved on. Louder laughs, smiling selfies, a new face in her photos. But you didn't see her checking your profile at midnight, listening to songs that reminded her of you, remembering your gaze not when you were begging, but when you were untouchable. Every woman remembers the man who didn't break for her. She remembers the silence after the fight, the calm after the storm, the strength in your stillness. Silence is not emptiness. It's pressure. It forces reflection. It creates mystery. When you stop reacting, she starts remembering. She replays every word, wonders if you cared, questions if she misjudged your worth. And in that space, something dangerous grows: respect. She doesn't respect the man who pleads in paragraphs. She respects the one who disappears with dignity. Emotion alone doesn't win her back, elevation does. Rising above the chaos instead of drowning in it, every true king goes quiet before war. Every storm begins with still air. You became that storm, not through anger, but through absence. And your absence spoke louder than your love ever did. In every woman's heart lives a primal test. Can I break him? It's not cruelty, it's instinct. She needs to feel the edge of your steel to believe in your strength. She will poke, provoke, push, not to destroy you, but to measure you. The weak man breaks, explains, chases. The strong man steps back, not to hurt, but to protect his center. That step back resets the balance. You stop being an ocean that drowns and become a lighthouse that pulls the tide. Real men don't argue about their worth. They show it. In silence, discipline, detachment. That's when she reconsiders. When your silence burns hotter than her scream. When your stillness is louder than any word. That's when she whispers to herself, "What if I was wrong about him?" Every woman wants to admire the man beside her, to feel his gravity, his control, his self-respect. And when you become that man, not as a game, but as a real transformation, she feels it. Everyone feels it. Friends notice, enemies sense it, strangers respect it. Masculine energy is not noise, it's magnetism. It doesn't chase, it pulls. It doesn't demand, it commands. Here's the brutal truth. She didn't want to leave you. She wanted to find you. The real, grounded you who doesn't beg, doesn't perform, doesn't fake strength. She tested you to see if you were stronger than her storms. You failed, but now you've awakened. And something new is born in you. Not revenge, not hate, but indifference. And that's more powerful than anger. Because now you don't need her validation. You don't crave her affection. You've become sovereign, whole, untouchable. Whether she comes back or not doesn't matter. Kings don't wait. They build, they rise, they lead. The rebirth of a man doesn't begin with love, it begins with loss. And what comes from that loss is not a boy begging for attention, but a man who commands respect. You thought she was the end, the final destination. But her leaving was your beginning. Because pain, when held with courage, doesn't destroy a man, it sharpens him. You are no longer the man who needed her to feel whole. You are the man who walks into a room in silence, and the entire room changes. You have mastered detachment. You don't chase love, you attract it. Not from hunger for approval, but because your energy demands it. You wait for what is worthy, and maybe, just maybe, she will regret losing you. But you won't need her regret, because regret is still about her, and you've moved on to something bigger, self-mastery. You build, you rise early, you train your body, you sharpen your mind, you silence the noise, you create, you lead, you dominate your territory, not through aggression, but through alignment. The world starts to reflect that alignment. New women notice, new opportunities appear, old wounds heal, old versions of you die. You don't show off your growth, you live it in quiet power. Because the healed man becomes what every woman secretly desires, but few truly understand. A man who cannot be shaken. A man who cannot be manipulated by guilt. A man who cannot be bought by beauty or controlled by tears. He doesn't hate women. He simply no longer worships them. He doesn't blame her. He blesses her for being the fire that forged him. And now, the throne is yours. Not because you took it by force, but because you built it. Brick by brick, scar by scar, day by day. And the man on that throne does not wait for love. He is love. He doesn't seek a queen to complete him. He invites a queen to complement him. This is the final chapter of heartbreak, not because the pain vanished, but because you transcended it. You are no longer a man recovering from love. You are the man that love must now earn. And that is the power she never saw coming.